It's giveaway time! Are you guys interested in winning a Washington football jersey, player of your choice, and some Washington football kicks? Well, you came to the right spot. Juan Gotti is teaming up with Washington Football on Instagram to host a big giveaway. How do I enter this giveaway? All you have to do is follow the instructions that they imply on their Instagram page. Link is in the description. They will be picking a winner during halftime of the Philadelphia Eagles game. Trust me, you guys don't want to miss this offer. A free Washington football jersey that will be vintage and worth a lot of money someday, considering the fact that this won't be out in permanent name. So don't miss out on this offer, guys. Trust me, and tell Washington Football that I sent you guys. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another video, and in today's video, we have here another camp battle. Offensive side of the ball, once again, we already did the running backs and the receivers. Now we're shifting over to the tight ends. Then we're going to finish it off with the quarterback and offensive line. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case our Washington football team. And don't forget to enter the giveaway that Washington Football is hosting on his Instagram page, where you can enter. You already seen it, but I'm gonna still say it because I know a lot of people don't do it. You can win a free jersey and some free shoes. So why not enter it? I will enter it, so why not you? You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. So if you guys don't know what camp battles is, what we do here is predict what's going to happen in training camp, in my opinion, of who's going to make the roster at each position. We're just about to finish up the offense, then we're going to move on to the defense, but we have a little more ways to work through the offense, and then we'll move on. So let's get straight into the tight ends. So the tight ends is arguably the worst position on this team. Some may say the secondary, but I personally would say easily the worst position on this team, position group that is on this team. I mean, you literally don't have no good tight end, in my opinion. Well, at least not shown. You have Logan Thomas. You have Thaddeus Moss, Hill Hedges, Jeremy Sprinkle, who's been playing horrible, but we had to deal with Jeremy Sprinkle. We also have Richard Rodgers on the list. So we don't have no predominant tight end. Now, we did have Jordan Reed. We all know we had Jordan Reed, who would have, if he stayed healthy, would have been a top 5, top 10 tight end in this league, honestly, because he was a great pass-catching tight end. I mean, I wouldn't say he started the way for pass-catching tight ends, but he was really in the early, I would say, like 2015s and around there where he had his best year. That's where he was really elite and at the top of the game of pass catching, right up there with Rob Gronkowski. Now, the only thing that held Jordan Reed back was obviously injuries, but for him not becoming an overall great tight end was that he wasn't a great blocker. So that's what we're really missing. We're really missing a guy like Jordan Reed. If it wasn't for his injuries, I'm pretty sure a 10 out of 10 that he would still be here. But year after year, he would get multiple concussions that would hold him out for multiple games. Last year, he got a concussion week 3, which held him out the whole entire season. So, we got rid of him this past offseason. We cut him. Then, not too long ago, he goes back with his buddy Trent Williams. He goes back to team up with Kyle Shanahan, which I think is really a good move for Jordan Reed. And he goes to the 49ers. That's really a good move. I mean, and I'm not surprised one bit because, I mean, they're linking back up with each other, Kyle Shanahan rather, and Trent Williams. I really think that's going to be a good move, and I cannot wait to play the 49ers. It might be a disaster, but I'm really happy for Jordan Reed. If he can stay healthy, he really, really could get his career back on track. Because, I mean, it never fell off. It was just because he was hurt. Now, I don't want to make this video all about Jordan Reed because it's not. It's about our guys. So, who do I have making the roster at the tight end position? Honestly, I see us keeping 4 tight ends, possibly 3 at the max. But I think we're going to keep 1 more extra tight end, possibly practice squad. And the reason why I say 4 is just because although none of these guys are proven and talented, we don't want to miss out on a guy that can possibly go to another team and then he emerges. Guys like Richard Rodgers, I don't see making the roster. I'm sorry. I really don't think he's gonna make the roster. I don't think he's any good. You know, he was hurt all of last year, and I think he was just gonna be a camp body. So we know Richard Rodgers isn't gonna make the roster, in my opinion. Logan Thomas is loved by the coaching staff for whatever reason. You know, 29. He first came in the league from Virginia Tech. He first came in the league as a quarterback. Then he transferred to a tight end who is still learning the game. And I know people are going to say, well, you got to give him a chance because he's still learning the position. But, I mean, 29 years old and you're still learning like how to groom into the league. I don't think that's really any good. Now, I can give him the benefit of the doubt because he is learning a position that he wasn't supposed to be playing in the first place. That's understandable. But 29 and you still haven't found your ground, I don't think that's any good. But for some reason that I don't know, you don't know, the coaching staff loves Logan Thomas. So Logan Thomas is going to make the roster. He's dealing with COVID right now. I don't think they confirmed him with COVID, but they put him on the COVID/reserves list, so he is away from the team. But I still have him making the team. Richard Rodgers, like I said, is probably going to be the only person to not make this team. If it was up to me, it would be two. It would be two of these guys not making the team, but I just see one of the guys not making the team, and that's Richard Rodgers. Next person on my list that I have making the team is none other than our undrafted free agent, Thaddeus Moss. Thaddeus Moss has a lot of big expectations, even though he's an undrafted free agent. We know when he was getting drafted or in the drafting process, and after the draft, when he didn't get drafted, after we signed him, he said it was a little slap in the mouth. Slapping him off. Some people even said he should have stayed an extra year to really take off. Because, I mean, he didn't have the best regular season. Although he literally did not drop one pass all of last year, he didn't fill his stat sheets up all regular season. But once the playoffs came and the college football playoffs, came on, this guy turned up. He was probably Joe Burrow's #1 target. I mean, he had, I think it was 2 to 3 touchdowns in the national championship. Before that, he even had a couple touchdowns sprinkled in the playoff games prior to the national championship. So now I can see why a lot of people were saying he could possibly stay. He should stay one more year so he could build off of that and then possibly be the #1 tight end in this 2021 draft class. But he said, screw it. He entered the 2020 draft class, and just by our luck, he didn't get drafted, and he fell to us. So with that being said, this is my ultimate favorite. Thaddeus Moss is my favorite tight end on this roster. And it's not just because he's Randy Moss' son. It's just that this guy has a hidden talent. He hasn't been able to put it all on show because, I mean, he first didn't even start at LSU. I think it was North Carolina A&T. I could be mistaken. But he didn't start at LSU. And he found himself late in the season last year, and he really showed some promise. The on-field play, yes, you can say that's the reason why I like him so much, but I just like the way he carries himself. Honestly, that's the reason why I really like Thaddeus Moss. It's just because he's so humble. And you can see that. I don't know if you guys, some of you guys may have been in Antonio Gandy or Antonio Gibson's live with Thad Moss, but you can see the way he carries himself. I mean, and you didn't even have to be in that live to see, but Thad Moss, if you don't know, he doesn't like when people compare him to his dad. You know what I'm saying? He hates when people say, the son of the legendary receiver Randy Moss. He hates that. And quite frankly, I understand why, because he wants to create his own path, and he doesn't want to just live off his dad's name. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter how great you are in this league, Thaddeus Moss. You're always going to be in your dad, Randy Moss's shadow. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it. But I understand why he doesn't like being in his dad's shadow, because he just wants it to be on him. He wants people to like him for him. He doesn't want people to automatically like him just because he's Randy Moss's son, which I can get that. And that's why I was talking about Antonio Gibson's live, because Antonio Gibson was about to show his highlights. And they were talking about the Randy Moss son and stuff like that, and you could really just tell that he didn't like that. He already said it, but then when Antonio Gibson was about to show his highlights, he's like, "Oh, come on, dude, chill. Oh my God!" Like, you could just tell he wasn't mad that he was actually showing his highlights. He's just a humble guy, laid back kind of guy. I know I was getting off topic, but that's the reason. That's another reason why I really like this guy, because he's just a humble guy, and he just wants to be his own self, and he wants to create his own legacy. Now, as far as the on-field play goes, I really like him because he can block and he can catch. He's not the fastest, but we clearly seen, and no, I'm not comparing these guys, but we clearly seen with Antonio Gandy Golden and Thaddeus and Thaddeus Moss, 40 times don't mean nothing. 40 times do not mean nothing, because once you get into game speed, you are a different kind of animal. And although we didn't see Thad Moss run the 40 because he was hurt, he even came out and said it. Although we didn't see him run the 40, we know he wasn't the fastest. But we know he's faster than what the 40 time would have been. So he can catch. He could be a safety blanket for Dwayne, something that he was missing all of 2019 season. Somebody that could be a big red zone target for Dwayne. And also not afraid to block. Not afraid to be an extra pass blocker for Dwayne. Not to be afraid to be a fullback and a lead blocker for AP and Geis. Or just be at his tight end position and be a blocker there. He's not afraid. So, with that being said, that's why he's my favorite. Because he has the most potential out of all of these guys. He can block and he can pass. And he's also a humble guy. So, that's my second guy that I have making this roster. Third person on the list is none other than Jeremy Sprinkle. If it was up to me, I would get the scissors and cut Jeremy Sprinkle. If it was up to me. But, do I think they're going to cut Jeremy Sprinkle? No, I don't. Because we need all of the guys that we can get. And we need someone with veteran presence, I guess you would say. And some sort of experience in the Washington football team, I guess, area or on this team. But if it wasn't for that, I really believe they would have cut Jeremy Sprinkle. Because, I mean, he really hasn't shown why he needs to be on this roster. I mean, quite frankly, last year, he was supposed to be the third tight end on his roster, but he ended up being number one because Jordan Reed went down, and then Vernon Davis went down. So, he was quite, like I said, supposed to be the third person on his roster, and he ended up being the first. And then when the time was put on him, yes, you can say it was a bad timing, but then again, you got to always be prepared. So, with that being said, he had his time, he had his chances, and he just didn't make the best of them. He has butterfingers, he's a decent blocker, but I really just think that he got too many chances on this team, and it's just not working out. But do I think they're going to cut him? No, I don't. So that's my third person making this roster is Jeremy Sprinkle, and hopefully he can show some progress. I don't want him to think I'm hating on him because I don't, because he's on my team and I want him to be good, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. What, he had 3-4 years on this team already and he just hasn't popped off? So, I mean, I really hope it happens, but I don't think it is. And I really think that if we were having a regular offseason, preseason and all, he possibly wouldn't make the roster. So, with that being said, he's going to be the third tight end on his roster. He's going to be his third tight end to make the roster. And the reason why I say we keep 4 is because of Hale Hedges. Hale Hedges would have been my third tight end to make the roster, in my opinion, over Jeremy Sprinkle. But I think that we might keep 3, maybe 4, like I said, and the fourth one would be Hale Hedges, and he would possibly play on the practice squad or be a practice squad player, I guess. But if it was up to me, Jeremy Sprinkle would have been gone, and I would have rolled with Logan Thomas, Thad Moss, and Hale Hedges. But then again, I know that they're not going to do that, and I feel as though that me being realistic, they're going to roll with Logan Thomas, Thad Moss, and Jeremy Sprinkle. Maybe Hale Hedges, but the more realistic option for Hale Hedges is practice squad, unfortunately. I mean, if you guys don't remember, Hale Hedges came on late in the season, and he was really a good target for Dwayne Haskins. I would say the last 3, maybe 2 games. He caught a touchdown, and then in the Dallas game, he really ate. So, with that being said, the tight end group is really weak. I wouldn't be surprised if any of you guys didn't even know. If you're not a hardcore fan, I would not be surprised if you guys didn't know who any of these guys were, outside of maybe Thaddeus Moss. So with that being said, it's been your boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe, help to the Washington football team. And if you like this video, subscribe and turn on post notifications. And also, let me know how y'all feel about the tight end group down below. Who do you see making this roster in 2020? Who do you see getting cut? Like I said, Richard Rodgers is probably the only person that I see not making this roster or getting cut. The second person would have been Jeremy Sprinkle if it was up to me. But now I know they're not going to cut Jeremy Sprinkle. So the people that I have making the roster is Logan Thomas, Thaddeus Moss, Jeremy Sprinkle being the 3. And the 4th one would be Hale Hedges on the practice squad. I said I have them keeping 3 active tight ends, maybe 4. And that 4th one would be Hale Hedges. But if they were smart, I would cut Jeremy Sprinkle and I would keep Hale Hedges as the 3rd active tight end. But we know that's not going to happen. So let me know how y'all feel about this topic down below. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe, help to the Washington football team. I'm out. Peace.